We'll call the Budget Committee meeting to order. First order of business, elect the chairman, so the floor is open for the chair for Budget Committee. Do I hear nominations?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Wendell Marlowe.
Okay.
Second.
Do I have any other nominations?
Move nomination cease.
Okay, Mr. Marlowe, you've been nominated. I hear all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Marlowe, you are the chairman, and I'll let you elect a vice chair.
Okay, so floor is open for nominations for vice chair.
Nominate Ned Stafford.
Is there any other nominations?
Move the nomination cease.
All in favor of Annette Stafford being our second?
You better make
There
sure
you
you
go.
show up every meeting, I'm telling you that now.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we do have
You all right?
minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve Budget Committee minutes for September the 9th. Any questions or concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. All right. You're up, hon.
Thank you. Your financial statement and fund balance reserve reports are located in your packet. If you have any questions, please let me know and I will gladly try to respond to them.
I just have one comment. I'm excited to look at our fund balance, general fund balance.
Yes, ma'am.
Very excited. I know it won't stay like that forever, but at least we started there.
Okay, is there any questions concerning the financial statement?
Move to approve, that's what you need.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
We have quite a few budget amendments. The first one, the first one is for ag extension. This request is to cover a shortfall due to increase in matching share.
What does matching share mean and where is
I assume it's a grant, isn't it, Mayor?
is it a grant?
Ag extension, that's by me. I don't know that.
I can speak on it, being a former member of it.
Okay.
The current member was under ETS, TSU. You don't know, Jerry, you don't know. TSU is the one that has, what's his name?
He swapped.
Right.
He swapped position from
Right.
TSU to University.
Right, to the University of Tennessee.
Mm.
I don't know if
Lucas
TSU was
Hall.
willing to pay, Lucas, I don't know if TSU was willing to pay
Difference,
the
yeah.
difference in it, so I'm sure they're making it up there.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve ag extension amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The next is for capital projects. It's for Fund 189. This is requesting additional funds to build the WEMA stations number 3 and 10.
Mary, you want to talk on that? I had asked that question. I
Okay.
had that question asked.
Okay, on the window stations? Okay, so if you remember, we went to, we borrowed the money for the jail. We knew what the money was needed for that, and then we knew we were building 2 WEMA stations, so we asked you about that, and you guys were in favor of that. The last WEMA station we built was about $1.5 million, so I added about $500,000 to it, thinking it would be close to that. So $2 million apiece is $4 million, so I added $4 million to the bond. The key is there, I don't want to go over what the station's going to cost us, because then let's say I go over 500,000 or $1 million, I'm paying for that for at least 10 years, and the bond's really for 20 years, but I'd be paying for 10 years on money we didn't use because the bond's not callable for the first 10 years. So I want to get close, but I don't want to be over in what I asked for. So this is the difference, of course. The bond, when you think of everything that was in there, I think I explained that other day in our other meeting. But so 1.7 would get us to the to build both stations. All the contracts are ready to go. Phoenix Builders was the one that won the bid. Any questions outside of that?
Was this much expected?
I think, right now with building, we don't know what's expected. That's why I said I went for 2 apiece, but, you just don't know in our climate that we're in today what it is, but that's what it was. And we had, 4 people that picked up a packet, 2 that, declined because of COVID in their office, and so we had 2 empty bidders. Yeah, and they both were really close.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the amendment?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amendment. Is there any other further questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
Next, we have Circuit Court. This amendment is to transfer funds from their reserve account to supplement for monthly record storage with EMS. And this one is pending the Judicial Committee.
So that's what they were meeting for tonight.
They were supposed to met tonight too, and they didn't have a quorum, or weren't gonna have a quorum. They're gonna meet before the commission, county commission.
Pending.
Okay, so this will be pending.
Question, you have a
Their meeting,
question
yes.
over there?
Madam Chairman, it says stored with EMS, I don't think it's Emergency Medical Service, that's the company, correct?
It is. They scan electronically
Right.
for them.
What's the name of the company,
Electronic Media Systems.
Good job.
Hey, I knew she knows, she's smart.
All right, is there a motion to approve the amendment?
Motion, second.
Motion and a second to approve.
I'm
Any
a
other
fan, I know
questions?
she's smart.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
The next one is for the Election Commission. This request is to transfer funds for the final installment for the election voting equipment, software, and services loan. We were actually supposed to have paid this out per our budget. What had happened was we never received an invoice until the middle of August. So because we normally get that bill at the beginning of June, we assumed that we had already paid out everything we needed to pay out. Aaron removed the money from that line and put it back in balance. And now we're having to unfortunately request it to actually make that final payment.
Final payment is what I was looking for.
So it was initially budgeted.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Way back.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the amendment. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. Peg.
The next one's for PEG Channel. This request is to transfer funds from 499. This is an inner line, so we're not requesting money from the fund balance. We're just asking to move it from one location to the next to pay an invoice.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the amendment. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
This will be in your consent agenda because it's under 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one aye, but I assume everybody else agrees.
Oh, yeah,
Till I hear no, it's unanimous.
I was listening.
leave her alone.
I'm new.
Jeez, leave her alone.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The next one is for the Sheriff's Department. This budget amendment's to upgrade software and service for records maintenance.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the amendment. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
The next one is for the sheriff/WEMA departments. This request is to fund the radio system upgrade.
Question. So these monies are coming from,
Fund balance.
They're gonna come from fund balance and they'll be backfed through by ARP funds.
okay,
I'm back.
Yep.
so
Motion to
fund
approve.
then ARP.
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I didn't think I'd ever live to see it.
What?
But y'all spend three-quarters million in about 10 seconds.
That's cause we're
Getting
gonna get it back.
Getting it back.
We're getting it
Oh,
back.
Did you not hear that
We're gonna
part?
get it back, that's the only why.
That's Chinese money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Iraqi money.
Getting it back.
The next department is for WEMA, and this, is to record the approved motor vehicle for Director Cooper from the state grant that we received.
I have a question, I can't see your name from here. Assistant Chris. So is this, who is this new vehicle for?
I'm with the sheriff's department.
That's-
man.
Ah, well,
It's
I
a
couldn't see it,
challenge.
I saw Assistant Chief as far as I could see.
It ain't
So
him.
if anybody in here from WEMA, well, I guess not.
No, ma'am, but this is for Director Cooper.
It's for Joey.
This is for Joey, a car.
Right.
Has it done been purchased?
He gave it away.
No.
Well, he gave it to somebody else.
It's called a cascade system, you pass it down to
Yeah.
other folks.
Yeah.
That is what it's called.
So is this?
When did we buy him a car?
Couple years ago.
A little less than 2 years.
Okay, all right.
How many miles is on this car? Does anybody know? Anybody know the condition? Is this really, really necessary?
It's still in service. It's just passed down to one of the other supervisors.
Well, I've had a call or two regarding this vehicle, so I mean, I don't know. You know, I've had a call as to did he really need this vehicle? But if it's a state grant, it's not costing us anything. Is that not correct? Somebody correct me. It's not costing us anything?
It's not
Okay.
costing us.
Okay, I just had a person that asked the question. If it's a state grant, do we
you know,
really
Mike?
need this?
What's that?
Do you know if
Says
the
it
grant is actually paying for the car?
Well, it
Yes.
says on the
It
bottom,
says
there,
it
it
is.
says,
Well, I understand that, but
Yeah.
I wanna
I
know
don't know how
before I
that
vote.
works, but yeah, I don't know how that works, but, that's what it says on here.
I'd move
Yeah.
for 30 days until somebody can speak to it.
I'll
I
second that.
can, a little bit.
Somebody from WEMA here? I mean, didn't y'all meet?
I'm not on the committee.
It,
I don't
Most
remember.
of
We
these
didn't talk
grants,
about
the Homeland Security grants come through the state.
Nobody has.
I'm just sharing that with you.
may I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was actually on the 911,000 that we received from the state. You guys had already allocated
Oh,
it. We
okay.
just need to put it in a line
Yes.
to be able to let them
That's
purchase a
good.
vehicle.
Okay,
So
I'll
it's not
withdraw
coming
that
out our
motion.
fund balance?
No, ma'am.
I still got a problem with it.
Motion to
You still
approve.
good with deferring it for
What's that?
30?
You got about, yeah.
Are you still good for deferring it, Tommy?
I'd like to say one thing.
Yes.
I'm on the EMA.
There you
I think
go.
he talked about that a few months ago. because
He
it's on
did.
the
Well,
board.
he did, I
It's a
remember, I
four-wheel
understand
drive
what's going on now.
vehicle. I don't know about the money part of it, but he did talk
Can I
about
just
it.
draw that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
let's
he
mark it.
withdrew.
Okay.
You made a motion. Is there a second? I'll second it. We have a motion and a second to approve the amendment. All in favor, say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
Last but not least, we have the Veteran Services Department. This is a request to cover expenses for access to operating systems, literature, and cross accreditation with online support to different systems with, I'm actually gonna say Mrs. Sabrina is here and she can elaborate on this a lot better than I can if you guys want further discussion on it.
She says I'm good.
Okay, so in the Veteran Service Office, we have access to state and federal systems, and with that, we also have continuous learning, things that we have to do and all of that, but we have to pay for access to those, and we also have to pay for those training, events that we go to. I actually have requested an increase, prior to, for this upcoming budget, but somehow I got overlooked. So this is just us following up with that to see if we need that, if we need that, to be able to have access to provide the best service that we can to our veterans, and that it allows us to have on-time updated information. As soon as the laws change, it's updated in the system, it's allocated on the new forms and things like that. So if we don't, I mean, we can still do our job, but we don't have the best systems available.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the amendment. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
One question. It says fund balance, so are we taking this from,
Fund balance
we don't have enough fund balance?
out of 101.
101 fund balance.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Any opposed? Next,
One.
oh, that's the last one.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Surplus. Is this just from
Countywide.
Everything,
countywide?
first big hunky sheriff.
You have sheriff and WEMA, and then I guess the ones that are located behind there
The
are
mayor,
from the
education.
remaining departments and schools.
Home soap dispensers. You're trying to be clean.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Sure.
That first packet is the sheriff's office, and that is broken down into, request for auction, and request for destroy. I just wanted the committee to know that we will be destroying hard drives and, old devices that would have sensitive data on them. And, so there's a pretty big laundry list of hard drives and stuff in our packet. They want anybody to see it, say, what is this? That's the reason I wanted to give you a quick explanation, but all the hard drives, Mo iPads, Mo computers, all of their inner workings will be destroyed. And then everything else will be sold at the auction on the 29th.
Do we need to approve these separately?
No, you can do it as a group, I think, Mr. Chairman, but I will call your attention to, there are surplus items in there for the school system. You do not need to approve those. The Board of Education's already approved those. Yeah.
Making a motion to approve the surplus items outside the school system.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the surplus items, and in this motion is to approve the sheriff's department being able to destroy whatever needs to be destroyed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I think we're gonna start charging them $5 telephone ring fee.
Okay. I need the pilot up here.
Can you pay me?
Mr. Chairman, what GC's coming up? Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Since Marty's here now, or Wheeler,
Don't you believe
I know you didn't have a question before, but anyway, I got $50,000. Everybody knows I deliver cars for Wilson County Motor Company, and we deliver Tahoes all the time, and I see the bill out on them. Now, state bid don't buy anything with Tahoe. Tahoe's top of the line for state bid. The bill out on those are $34,000. I see the bill out. Now, I don't understand the 50,000.
And that's why I
Marty?
questioned it.
The vehicles that we've got in the previous years, it's been for the vehicle and the build out for the emergency lighting, the decals, and, the emergency lighting, decal, radios, the radio that go into the radio equipment that goes into
I
the
knew there was
thing.
equipment going on. That's why I'm 16,000 if you buy a Tahoe.
Right. So that's to outfit the whole vehicle.
I think next time, if you don't care to state that in here, so we'll know that. Cause
Okay.
we are, that's what I was told, that that's too much for a vehicle. I don't know nothing about no extra added stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I ask and, question it. So if you don't care, next time, maybe you could just add all, including accessories or whatever.
Yes, ma'am. We can do that.
Thank you.
And before GC talks, if I can, Chairman, Mr. Tommy had asked me earlier about summary of our pilot program, and so I put some together, just so you could look at those, and then maybe next month, if you'd like to come back and talk about those, you're welcome to, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
That kind of gives you an overall view of the pilot program itself, and then if you want next month, come back and have some discussion about it or whatever, you're welcome to do that.
You got one you can give GC?
GC prepared.
Oh. Well, you were looking at it, I thought, you were looking like you were hungry.
I had city stuff. I
You
didn't
wanted
know
to make
how
sure
he
you
had
hadn't
it. Just wanted
changed
to make
it,
sure he
didn't
hadn't changed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't change
All right, he was
it.
just looking at me
We
like.
did have, HR went out and got
Well,
some
I
prices on a per hourly rate of what people were paying, but that's one thing I added. And you have to do some of that, I think. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
All right, you got the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations you and the Vice Chairman. And yeah, I did do this, but we do so much, Mayor, I don't know. But basically, I think there was some discussions one time about how many pilots we've done. I think if we look back at this now, more manufacturing projects have been done than logistics, even though many times the logistic projects is the ones that get all the announcements. But be glad to answer any questions. This year we have approved 2 pilots in 21. They were the Thermo Fisher project, which was 1,200 jobs. They manufacture IV bags, tubings. They're at the Speedway. They will begin production in the second quarter of next year. And also we did the Chewy's project you guys did, which was 1,400 jobs. So those are the 2 projects that we've been involved in. You know, we haven't done other Walmart jobs. We haven't done other projects we're dealing with out there. And we don't, we've had a discussion at the executive committee, and a general feeling now is that unless the company is going to purchase the building, we really don't want to do a pilot just for a developer. So I'm not going to bring you, even though there's one in your package today that says green machine, I don't want us to consider that tonight. It is one that we didn't get to consider this morning at the executive committee because we didn't have a quorum. But what I do have in front of you tonight is a company which I've signed non-disclosure agreements, but they're a major outdoor company that you go online. They have, I can say enough without calling their names, but if you go online, they certainly are in the outdoor clothing, canoes, this type industry. They do have a retail store in Franklin area.
Which one is this, Bluebird or Indigo?
This is Bluebird, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, but Bluebird. They are now looking at property, the Joe Comer property, just south of the old school board building that a developer purchased, was going to build their own building, and now this company has come back and wants to do their own building. We started working with them about 18 months to 2 years ago, and COVID hit, and they said, we don't know if we can do this project. We don't know what's going to happen. Well, by not doing the project, it's cost them about $12 million more. So they are back. They're wanting to do the project. I think this company is unique in that they'll own the building. It will be heated. It will be cooled. It will be zero energy. They're very environmentally concerned in what they do. They are a co-op. So you can go online and figure out who they are. We will consider real property and personal property because they are owning the building. They'll be here a long time. That's what the executive committee and us are trying to do. And you know, we say they will start at $18 an hour, but if you're looking at the logistics companies here now, they're $3,000 to $4,000 sign-on bonuses, and they're anywhere from $18 to $20 starting. So that's sort of our base wage right here in any type of e-commerce. Their sales went up 23% online in 1 year. They didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't know if people were going to buy the products. But basically, if you stayed at home, people went and did camping and all this stuff to get away from everybody, and their sales exploded. They see great growth. They're well financed, and you can see on the second page what this would mean to them and what it would mean to us. We would get $148,000 from the project. If this project doesn't locate here, then that property probably remains a piece of very good green property. Maybe this could buy it, but you know, it's in the $50,000 to $60,000 range just for the property there. I can't say a lot more. I do appreciate your consideration. You know, we do have a maximum of 7 years. We cut this back down to 5. We show it as $1.51 for each dollar that's given up in abatements. And I think it's just a real big company. The mayor, Bill is aware of the project. He's very supportive of it. They're looking at doing some other things. I don't know they'll participate in a total pilot program, but they will reduce some fees, which is about $1 million for this project. So when we look at projects and revenue, we really sometimes don't consider local costs or what we get out of that. But that's the cost that the company has going into this project.
Question, I know you were talking about this particular project, but I also noticed on here, going back to your memorandum, so it's up here, the second bullet, talking about 10 pilot agreements have expired, leaving 13 pilots, agreement in effect. Are these pilots planning on staying?
They've all stayed here.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I see in 21, 22, so they're gonna stay.
Those are ones that roll off and then they become on our tax roll full time.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's what, not leaving, just leaving the program and
Go on the tax
the tax
roll.
roll at the full amount.
Just making
Yes,
sure.
ma'am.
Okay,
Mr.
thank-
Hickson, 288 jobs, $18 to $37 an hour.
Yes, sir.
Can you break it down any better for me? How many are on the 18 range and how many on the 37?
Yes, sir, I do have that. You may have to give me a minute to find it. I just have to look for you, Ms. Jones. Typically, you'll have anywhere from 60 to 70 management in those numbers. And then you'll have, probably about 10 or 15 that's in maintenance, and then the rest of them will be production floors.
At the $18 hour range.
Yes, that would be the base
So that's
pay.
roughly, you're creating $218 an hour jobs roughly, just for,
That'd be about correct.
just a round number.
If I remember correctly.
Okay, is there any further questions, for GC concerning the Bluebird pilot?
GC and I talked about this
I'm
this
sorry,
morning,
thank you.
Mr. Chairman, and whatever this committee votes to do will be subject to the JECDB Executive Committee too. The process starts with JECDB and then comes to you. We didn't have a quorum this morning, so we'll meet in a couple of weeks. And
Okay.
if y'all bless it, most likely we'll bless it.
I'd like to make a motion subject to the joint economic development. I guess vote.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any further questions? All in favor say aye. Any
And
opposed?
And I do have that, 23 management, 11 office, 19 maintenance, 220 production.
220 production.
220 production,
That right on the
19 maintenance, 11 office, 23 management. What we are seeing in these is a tremendous amount more money in maintenance folks because they're more automated. So that's what we're seeing, less people but more automation.
Okay. Indigo.
Indigo is a manufacturing production company. They're at the Speedway looking at a building there. Again, if I called their name, you would know them. They do a lot of chemical spray linings for manufacturing companies. So if you're bed liners and things of that nature, that's the company. This operation would actually come in, mix the products, put them in containers, ship them out. We're only looking at the personal equipment on this because they're leasing the building. Again, that's what we're trying to do. We'll give you a break on what you're doing, but the developer needs to be doing, paying the full tab. If you'll see, that means the developer will be paying $206,000 a year in property tax. This project would pay $11,000 of their own on the personal property tax. So this project brings in about $217,000 a year in property tax between real and personal property. The abatement is $374,000. think the interesting things about this is their average wage is $79,000. This will become their research center, chemical mixing, things of this nature. So, I think I had to break down here someplace. You probably, I think, got 20 folks that are actually shipping the products. You got about 20 people that's in the chemical part of it and about 10 of management. We expect them to grow. This is only 3 lines, and that's in a 300,000 square foot building. So they'll come back and expand as needed. So I think this is a really good type of project, that high wages, type of chemical folks and management I think that we need to have. But again, we sort of state, if you're not gonna own your own building, we're just gonna try to help you out a little bit on the personal property. And that's been a difference from when we started the program. I think that you know, they tell us that Indianapolis has a better program and Missouri does and Indianapolis does, but they rebate the personal income tax in some of those states. So when you look at numbers, our numbers don't compete, but when you look at everything else we do here, we can hold our own. So that's what we deal with. Your numbers aren't good enough, you ain't doing enough, and we say, we're doing what we think we can do. End of the day, I think we have a good chance to get this project, and their board will meet over the next couple of weeks, which is why I wanted to get in front of you guys this evening to say the real approval folks have taken a look at it, but the executive committee needs to look at it in November 4th.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's the
And
first one.
and so we're not gonna look at green.
No, sir, I don't want, again, that's sort of for my benefit. I want my executive committee to take a look at it, and then I want them to say that's maybe not what we need to be doing. And so, my recommendation to them would be not to do that project. It gives me an opportunity to say, we've looked at it, and that's not where we want to go right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And members.
Okay, on the agenda, there's something called tax relief.
Yes, sir. Okay, so the trustee is requesting an additional $100 be added to qualifying senior citizens, 65 years and older, and disabled homeowners for their tax relief program that they already have, and then they want to start up a new program for disabled veterans or widows of disabled veterans with a tax relief plan of just $100 off of their taxes. And I believe that we need a.
Yeah, give me those, because you got a lot more information than I got out of the trustee's office.
Read one more time who's involved right now.
Okay, so it is qualified senior citizens, which is 65 years or older, and disabled homeowners, which if you are a disabled homeowner, you have to have, I think your income level cannot surpass $31,000 a year.
All right, that's one thing I need to know. So it's
Yes, sir.
31,000 and under.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, how much is the relief? You said an additional $100. We do this every year and we kinda increase it, so what's it up to now? I've got the resolution, I just need to fill in the blanks. That's what I couldn't get from them today.
I'm sorry about
No, I'm not
that,
fussing
but
at you.
But I can definitely get that to you tomorrow.
I need that to plug into the, and then I was told that the disabled veterans and the widows, the disabled veterans have to be 100% disabled. And
Okay.
then, of course, obviously if they die, they're disabled. But the widows then get, so they have to be 100% disabled when they were living. And then if they expire, the widows get the credit. And I think the number they sent me late this afternoon was $935 for the veterans and $935 and $835 for the widows, I believe. It's somewhere in that neighborhood.
When I spoke with Dawn in their office, who's back there in their tax relief program area, she said that it was $100 for that startup program. She didn't give me any other numbers other than that. So,
$100 for the startup probably.
because
Okay.
currently that part of it, they don't have anything for them, for the disabled veterans or their widows.
Yeah, and the other question I had, and I couldn't get an answer, is what is the authority to do this? I mean, the limited property tax relief that we do for the under 31,000 is authorized by state statute.
Yes, sir.
Is there a statute that authorizes for the veterans?
I'm gonna have to defer to you, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I don't have any, I couldn't get an answer on that. They
Okay.
just told me Sumner, Rutherford, and Davidson's doing it. Well, that doesn't necessarily make it right. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, I mean, I wanna do it if it, but y'all don't need to pass something.
We don't know about.
So,
Yeah,
so
but I
what,
mean, if you gotta do it tonight because tax rolls are gonna be open in a few days.
so what would the final dollar amount be?
I don't know, that's
don't.
what LaBronya said she could find out. The only
Okay.
thing that I think I heard her say for sure was to be eligible, you gotta be under 31,000.
Right.
And the last resolution I pulled up, I think we were giving an additional $1,400 a year on whatever the state gives them. So when you said an additional 100, I'm guessing that bumps it up to 1,500, but that's a guess, so I need to know the exact number.
Okay.
If you can get it for me, they probably respond to you a little better maybe.
Well, I know where they work.
Yeah, I called for Tracy today and she must have been out, so she didn't call me back.
As much as I'm in favor of passing this, we need to know the exact number before we take a vote on it, don't we?
And then where would the money come from?
They just
You
reduce it
take
off
a
their tax.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
cut the
Okay.
property tax.
Gotcha, okay.
Reduction.
So we're talking about $100 a year.
Per family.
Plus whatever we've been given.
Up to
Well,
100
see-
additional dollars.
See, that's confusing. There's three different things here.
Mhm.
There's the property tax relief for people 65 and older making less than 31,000 a year.
Mhm.
Then there's the property tax relief for 100% disabled veterans. And then there's property tax relief for the widows of 100% disabled veterans. So really, we're gonna need three separate resolutions, and Mr. Jones is right, we need to know the amount.
Mhm.
Now, if
I
you
mean,
wanna,
if it's an additional 100 per category, I mean, that's fine, but before we vote, we need to know what we're voting on.
And then
Can we come back together before the meeting?
you can that night, and LeBron and I can get the numbers, and I can send it out to you in advance, before that meeting on Monday night. I'm gonna be gone a few days next week, we'll get it out to you after that.
So what are the chances of them getting $300 if they qualify for all three, or do they just get one category?
Well, I think, first of all, that first one is gonna be it's gonna be more than $100, because I think we're at 1,400 now.
Wow.
And so if we're talking about an additional 100,
It's 15.
that's 15. Now, if we're just going back to 100, then that's a step back from what we've been doing.
I
So-
doubt it'll be that, I
I
don't
doubt
know, but I
Yeah, I
doubt
don't
it.
think we'll be stepping back. But, we can do that if y'all wanna meet on,
The 20.
yeah, the problem is it won't be in the packet. You'll have to suspend the rules that night to do it, if you want to.
Well, we have to have it done by October 1st, no, by
Well,
when?
Tax rolls supposed to be open Monday.
Okay.
They're not, cause I've already had somebody try to pay in Watertown and we can't get our tax notices. And they say the printer's not got them done yet, so. But my daddy used to pay the first day.
Yeah.
He'd walk in there and pay the first day, and my daddy's
Pick
gone,
on the
but
last day.
I've got somebody else willing to do it. And if they wanna pay the money, I wanna get it.
I bet, no doubt.
Put it on account.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know the exact numbers, Tommy. I wish I had more information. I do think they're good programs.
Oh, yeah, by all
But-
means,
but-
I definitely agree with that. I'm just trying to see what the numbers, what it do for the
So
county.
we've
no
already
doubt.
there's already one meeting before
Judicial.
judicial will meet. What if they set a time?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, finance that night. Just to
He
let
thinks
the
that,
chairman-
Corey thinks it's at 6:30.
Finance is meeting that night?
Just to let the chairman.
What time are they meeting there?
I think we said 6:45.
It's a 5-minute thing.
Yeah, just gonna let the chairman.
Corey
know.
said 6:30 for judicial, so
6:30?
you could do 6:15.
Could we make a motion, Mike, add an additional 100 and it be verified? Could you do it that way?
he,
You could make a motion, if you're of a mind to approve these programs, subject to us getting the numbers, the exact numbers. And then, if you don't like that, you can vote it down on the floor or whatever, but I can get it in the packet that way.
Okay.
So we could
What do you
send you a
suggest?
recommendation at $100 then to the county court.
You could, but I believe it's gonna be more than 100 times.
But
The email they sent me today was 935 for disabled veterans, 100% disabled veterans, and 835 for widows. Of 100%.
Is there something already in place for those two categories?
No, see, that's,
Over there.
I've not seen the authorization for that.
They, as far as the disabled veterans and their widows go, they told me that it was a startup. So I assume that they don't have anything in place for them now.
But you thought it was just $100 for them?
Yes, sir.
And then I got additional, so there's a whole lot of information floating out there, some of which may be accurate, none of which may be accurate, so.
So could we, I mean, and in reality too, if that office knows that we're gonna meet on it next month with all the details, they could tell if anybody come in to pay, hey, hang on, we
Wait,
think we
yeah,
got you.
wait.
You know, we think we got you some relief coming, so I would wait. Could they do that?
It could, and we're not, with all due respect, somebody from that office
You're on
ought to be
TV.
here tonight, it's their program, it's not mine. Somebody ought to be here.
I'd certainly
Agreed.
love to see it pass, but it'd just be irresponsible to pass something when you don't know what
Yeah.
you're passing.
And we can't defer it, or just have a meeting at night.
You can do the meeting for the commission or November, you know,
It's
you're gonna
already
have,
2 or 3 meetings, right, prior to.
Two.
Yeah, I mean, we could have a meeting for, that, you know, Monday night, or we could wait till next month and then have the office tell any widows or something that come in and say, hey, you
Come back.
qualify, hang on, because we may have some relief coming.
Do we
'Cause they
wanna
don't
do
have to pay
that?
their
Well, the
tax
only
bill.
problem with that, Mary, is how is the ladies sitting down there gonna know the situation?
I can tell them tomorrow.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, whoever comes in to pay their taxes, they're not gonna probably share that information with the ladies in the office down there if they don't know there's something available, will they?
Well, the
I
only
hate
way-
for somebody to miss out, is what I'm getting
Yeah.
at.
The only way I think they would know it, once we pass it, is if they were to read the papers.
Hmm.
Other than that, that office would have to be the one to give the information out, cause otherwise they wouldn't get the
I guess
information
they
that
could
I know.
post something
I was
on
gonna
the
say
counter or
post
something,
notices
couldn't they?
everywhere, right?
That there's possible relief coming for these
well,
situations.
right now, they can't pay their taxes because the tax rolls are not open.
Mhm.
So your best bet may be to do it on Monday night before the commission.
Yeah,
And if LeBronia and I can't get accurate numbers,
and you
we'll
tell us when we
you,
get
yeah.
here.
So,
Wait till
y'all
night.
wanna meet at 6:15 Monday?
I don't want to, but I will.
So we just recess this meeting?
You can.
Okay.
Okay, before we recess, is there any other business?
I do have one other thing, unless LeBronia has it.
I'm
And this
done for
goes
the
back,
night.
this goes back, Mayor, I think it came out of your office from Robert Baines. He wants to buy some stuff from a company called Omnia, and that's a cooperative purchasing agreement, kinda like we did with Sourcewell and.
Yes, sir.
Aaron told me about it several weeks ago. It happened after our last county commission meeting before this one. But I think Robert's requesting to buy some materials, whatever, through this purchasing agreement. To do that, we've gotta approve them as being eligible,
Correct.
that we would use them.
So moved.
Excuse me.
Second.
And I do have one thing.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Who
Any
seconded
opposed?
it?
Aye.
Tommy seconded. Okay.
There's a lot of conversation about pay for people, and Kiana got me, pay, study numbers that I talked to y'all about last month, and this is how many people, I'll just let you pass it around, cause I didn't make a copy for everybody. This is Steve Thompson, that's who has normally done ours, and he does a lot of them in our area, and you'll see all of them on there. So his fee is $18,000 to do that. We got 2 other bids, from 2 other companies, and one was 48 and one was 60. So we called and asked, you know, why is his so much cheaper? And he said, because I have the data already on you guys that I've done for the past, 3 times, and also though I do everybody else in your area, so I already have the materials, and that's why I said, well, give me who you've gotten so far. So if you wanna do that, she can get that done. I know people were trying to find, numbers to look at and to compare to, and they may do something before.
So he can generate off the others, basically.
He's done it for them as well, so that helps him to do it a little cheaper. But, but that's up to you guys if you wanna do it. If you don't wanna do it, then she'll go either way.
When was the last time we did this?
You know, we did it 3 years ago, and when we started this, we said we do it every 3 years. But as the sheriff said Monday night, you know, he said when we did it 3 years ago, that really helped them and they were in the ballgame. But then these last 2 years, other people have made raises, and so now they're behind. So, you know, we may wanna do it every other year, you know, or whatever to kinda keep up. I mean, it's just kinda hit, but, I know law enforcement had a meeting and talked about maybe, hey, look, can we do something now? And I know that's a lot of conversation, but he said he could get this done if we got him started by January.
Oh.
I know the
So-
school system's on a different system, but also I heard Mr. Luckrell say the same thing
Yeah.
about raises and salaries.
The other night when we met, Mr. Rich is not here, Commissioner Rich, but when we met at the EMA and law enforcement, if my memory is correct, it'll be in the minutes you see. Joey said he had 8 current positions unfilled. He had he has 9 current positions unfilled. The 9 y'all approved in the new budget. He's never gotten those filled, so he's got 18 vacancies right now.
Wow.
He said he's got 1 or 2 more about to leave, and he's got 3 to 10 outages per shift. I'm assuming outage means absenteeism. Robert said he was short, what do you say, Diane? 10 in, he may have had a total of 10, 5 correctional officers short and 5 road officers. So that between them, that's 28 employees short.
And
So
you know,
in other words, we need to get this
You
done
need to
as soon
act
as
on
possible.
and as we talked through that, you know, and Cindy came to us, you know, other night, saying the same thing, hey, can we do this? And as we start thinking about that, once you do it, it does open the gate up for everybody. The next thing I think we think about is, okay, even if you say, yes, let's do that, the only money you've got to deliver is one-time money, and so you're guaranteeing, I gotta find some good money next year, and you know what those words are, and I ain't gonna say it since we're on TV, so, so I think that's to consider. I think she can turn these numbers around. You guys now are passing the budget in June, so we start working on this stuff in March. I will say that I would like for you to consider through the ARP, and several counties have done that, and that's a $2,500 bonus. They'll be paid out of the ARP money for all of the employees, and that because they all became essential, simply because they had to stay open during the pandemic. So that could be something that could because we didn't have a raise this year, that would kind of take the place of that, and then we'd backfill the money through that. I do have numbers on that. I did not bring them with me, sorry for that. So that would qualify through ARP, and that would maybe get these people there. But at the same time, when you approve Weeman and the sheriff, they got to spend how many months or how many weeks or so just training them. So you're still further down the road as well. But I would like for you to consider that at some point, if you would, you know, if you would do that. You know, we kept waiting on the final rule to come out so I could bring it to you, because we thought if we did do that for our employees, it would really be good for them to get it around Thanksgiving or Christmas. You know, that would be great. So, but that's something for you to consider, think about. I mean, I don't know, you know, that's
You think surely we can get it done by January 1?
thinking that the
bonus.
Yeah, he's already said he had all the data.
I mean, Aaron has run the bonus for me at 1,500, 2,000, 2,500. And I've checked some other counties, and a lot of them have gone to 2,500, so that's why I chose that
When would you
number.
want to do that?
That would be up to your vote, but whenever you want to do it, we're ready to do it. I mean, we feel like the 3.7 million that we got, that we're gonna backfill with ARP. And again, I waited because I wanted y'all to hear from Wesley Robinson. He's our CTAS rep, for him to come and confirm with you guys, hey, this 14 million is gonna be yours to spend where you want it, because you're gonna qualify under revenue loss. So now you decide where that 14 million goes. So I wanted to get those things out on the table, but since everybody's starting to talk about pay, I don't want to bring this up late. And somebody said, well, why didn't y'all bring it up early? We'd have done that instead of do the other and wait for,
But to clarify, that'd be for every county employee.
every county employee.
And that's
Exclude-
just a bonus, not a,
Yeah.
right, considered as a raise.
That's just a bonus excluding me, yeah.
Okay, well, we're talking about two different things
Yeah.
here. Do
Yeah.
we need to, do we,
It's
do we need to
basically-
vote on that $18,000 thing tonight?
That would be up to
I
you.
would
if
like
you
to,
choose
I'd
do
like to
that.
make the motion to go ahead and vote on it, since he's already got the data, and we're gonna have to do it in order to know where we're going, so,
We're making a motion to approve.
yes, the $18,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions concerning that process?
I'll get her started as soon as the county commission approves it on Monday night, and we should have numbers back to you for y'all to look at, everybody to look at in January.
Good.
And if you want me to go right now to my office, I have the amount of money that 2,500 is, if you wanna. I mean, if
You can just
wanna
email
consider
it, the
tonight.
email will be fine, we just
Yeah,
let it
We
go.
go over and vote on it tonight.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. All
Yeah,
in
you can
favor of
vote.
this, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Now, can
now
I
the
ask,
next thing.
ask you a question before you go to the next thing? Will that need to be a resolution just for the money to
Yes.
pay Mr. Thompson, or does it need to be to approve? You want me to include it, say we're doing a pay study, Mr. Steve Thompson's gonna do it at a cost of, so I'll need a budget
There's
amendment.
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to go get those right now?
Yes, if y'all don't mind, I mean, there's no need to.
If you need
You
an
don't know how to run
exact,
the copy machine.
He'll figure it out.
Ma'am,
I was gonna say, if you need an exact number, he can grab that, but I know it's gonna be about 3.4 million taxes and all, like that would cover that with every employee. And I think I actually included him in one of those numbers.
Cause I think he said
any
something
job
about,
openings?
plenty, you didn't
Yeah, I
say
need
something
an
about.
assistant.
They're looking for school bus drivers.
Oh, no. Well, that wouldn't be in this one though.
I'll say this, just for what it's worth, this man's done a phenomenal job
Yes, he
recruiting
is.
people in here, and you see what they're
Yes,
paying.
he is.
And we're not paying our
Nope.
people like that.
And that's
We
just
want-
why we can't get them and keep them.
And
You
you're
gotta-
trying, you're gonna open two
You
new
got
stations.
EMTs
don't even
making
have people.
$13.75 an hour, and they're
Right.
starting pay at one of these places at $18.
At O'Reilly.
Hmm?
At O'Reilly, they're
Yeah.
paying more than an EMT.
But
It's
now,
true.
Mike, doesn't the shift, you know how they work
On the
their
line.
shifts,
Yeah.
doesn't it kinda equal out?
I couldn't tell you that.
I think
I
we need
just
to look
listened
at
to the
that
number.
part of it
Yeah.
too. It's kinda, they were trying to tell, some of them boys trying to tell me the other day that Rutherford County's paying $20,000 a year more than we're paying.
Their
And when you
tax
put it
base
in
is a
those
lot,
kinda numbers,
their
I
tax
kinda have
base,
to question
I
that.
got my
their
doubts
tax
about that.
base is a whole lot higher than ours too, but.
Yeah, now, I'm not saying we don't need to do something, but that's just a huge
Mm,
number to me.
I think Rutherford County Tommy went to a different shift where they're working.
That's kinda misleading, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what I
think
thought.
You'll have to look with the, where they're working their
Apples to
hours.
So you got nobody around a lot.
Mhm. Just, it's being informative, not
No,
nosy,
I'm just
informative.
Inquisitive.
Inquisitive, there you have it.
There's a fine line.
He do know how to operate that machine.
Look at him, come back in here with another set of papers.
He know how to operate
Hey,
it.
Mike, where am I doing my budget amendment for?
18,000, I don't know where you're bringing it from.
Oh, we
and where
didn't
it's
say
going,
that.
But
I guess it had to come out of general fund.
no
will it?
pressure, but I'm gonna need it tomorrow.
I come,
Packet goes out Monday, I'm leaving Monday.
So will the money have to, will the money have to come from
Daniel's
general
coming
fund?
Yeah,
Okay, so here are the numbers. If you do 1,500, it's $26,921.25. If you do 2,000, it's $35,895. If you do 2,500, it's $44,868.75.
Mm.
44,000?
Hang on, my bad, my bad, my
I
bad, my
was-
bad, my
Yes,
bad.
give
My
it
bad,
to us.
my bad, my bad.
Quit writing.
Let's go back, I'll get it right. Good right. Good right. I was looking at the Ag Center, at that time, my bad. Yeah, it is, for 1,500, 1.477 million. And then for the,
2,000.
yeah, for the,
2,000.
2,000, it's 1.969 million. And then I rounded that off, and then 2,500 is 2.461 million for the 2,500. So 2.5 million.
2.5
Yeah,
million.
2.5 million.
But then you said something about the 14 million, so that'll still kind of be,
Yeah, so
Okay.
so it's 2.5 million would come out of 14.
mm-hmm,
What the radio system cost?
3.75.
Radio system spent 4 million,
mm-hmm.
and that's 3 million.
That's 7, so we're
there's
still
way over
halfway
half of
there.
the 14 gone.
Yep.
Well, 3.7 and 2.5. Yeah, something, yeah. And then remember also probably
12.
broadband, sewer, and water. They had cautioned us, they said, don't really they ask us probably best thing to not do that on this 14 million, because they think that next round is coming from the federal government would triple our money, meaning that our money would be a part, the company, like Lakeville Utility District, the state would match it, and then the federal government through this last grant would match it. So that would make your money go further if you choose to do that. So so they said, before you check into that, you might wanna wait on that. So.
Two questions. If we approve this evening, when would this take place?
If the county commission approved it Monday night, then it would be up to Aaron and LeBron how quick they could get it. We would love for it to be January, Thanksgiving.
I like,
Christmas.
that's what I'm saying, Christmas, December.
Yeah, I mean, November would be a good time, but I mean, it could happen it could happen as soon as they run the payroll, but
Well,
that would
be a good time for it to come sometime before Thanksgiving for the employees.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we were.
Yeah,
But-
I would hope before Christmas.
Oh,
no,
Main
yeah,
thing.
it can happen.
I mean, the money's in the bank right now, isn't there?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, my other question is there any stipulation on these funds? In other words,
The funds that we've got right now.
no, if we provide this for an employee,
As a bonus.
will they quit tomorrow?
I don't, I don't think you can't tie anything to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could never get it back, I don't think.
No, once you give it to them, but now you might wanna say you had to be here 90 days, working at least 90 days before you're eligible or something like that. You don't wanna hire somebody on Tuesday and give them $2,500 bonus on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And the 30-year guy gets the same bonus.
I'm better with a 6 months or a year. Really,
Yeah.
gotta be here at least 6 months. I'm better with 6 months. You can
I mean,
tolerate
that's
anything
just-
for 90 days.
The thing about where this money's coming from, it's meant to be put into play.
It is.
Could we graduate it? If you've been here over a year, you get 2,500. If you've been 6 months, you get half that. I don't know, and scale it down. It'd be hard on some folks that's been here a few months not to get something, and their co-workers receive something like that. And like I say, we have to consider the source of the money. It was put out here to put it into the economy.
Certainly. Mayor, just throwing this out here, is that something you wanna decide tonight? Maybe decide at your November meeting, to put the word out that we are strongly considering doing a bonus for these people out there. Hang on, help's coming, but then you can figure out
Quick as we can.
what Tommy wants to do about
I
graduating.
think what he's
I think
talking
that's
about is a good idea. I think
Well,
it's a
would
great
that hinder
idea.
us about getting the checks out before Thanksgiving, LeBron?
Third Monday in November would, yes, sir.
Yeah.
She's quick study, she can get it.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
don't
just
know, I
it's
mean,
just
it
a
ought not be
time.
hard to think about it if we just put our minds to it a few minutes. I don't know.
I mean, either way you go, I mean, if you say, hey, you'd have to be here 6 months, I mean, you hate it for those people that have been here 6 months, but I think if you start saying, okay, if you've been here 20 years long, get 2,500 and do that, then everybody gets on the wall. Well,
No, I'm not thinking about
same.
making it
Yeah.
that complicated, but I mean, like I say, maybe we set a goal of 1 year.
Okay,
That would get most of the folks.
okay.
And then maybe it's 6 months, get half, or is that too much?
I'd say $500, $500.
Well, keep in mind, your goal is to keep people.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
$500 means the same to one guy as it does the
Sure
other.
enough.
And it could be, a lot of people are doing hiring bonuses, and so that could be well, no, I mean,
Nah.
because at the same time, I mean, you can't put that out there, you will get a lot of people then.
Well, if you've been here less than a year, between 6 months and a year, $1,250. And then if you've been here less than 6 months, $500.
Well, what about the part-timers? Just thought of, yeah.
What was your 3 levels?
3 levels, 1,500,
15,
2,000.
2,000. Let those be your 3. What, but what about part-time?
He's got them figured in here. He's got, the 120 day, full-time, part-time, and seasonal. He has them all figured in here, what they'd get. Yeah.
Seasonal
So he
too.
has them all considered.
If you, yeah, I think if you email it to us, it give us more time to study it and then actually see it. Don't you
Let me say
agree?
one other thing. She's gotta put together a budget amendment by tomorrow.
Oh,
So, you know, whatever you decide, I'm not saying it can't be done, but it puts some pressure on them to get that done.
that's too much.
Now,
You
what
tell me, I'll get it, I'll do what you need.
What
Can
what you
can
could
do
do
that?
is
Or we're pushing.
Put it off.
Just be
What?
No?
do something tonight with it and then say we'll come back on that Monday night to confirm it.
There you have it.
That way it'll be in the packet.
I like that.
That, you know, we intend to pay a bonus.
And let them work it from
Details
there.
to be brought in on, now you're probably gonna need to meet before 6:15 when they put it together.
Let's say 5:30
About next week.
or 5 o'clock. I mean,
One day next week.
I mean, whatever you think, LeBron, I'm getting over your business. You may be able to whip it out of there tonight.
You tell me and I will get it done.
That's a good
That's the
attitude.
right attitude.
that's her.
Should we
I'm
come
telling
back?
you.
That's a good attitude.
You tell, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think whether you decide 1,500, 2,000, or 2,500, you know, I think if we said, and maybe, okay, so maybe we look at it like this then. Let's say we pick a date that they worked through during COVID, because that's what this was about. This was about essential workers that worked during the pandemic. I know the pandemic is, you know, still here, but it's not, maybe you go back to when we were in the height of that and go backwards and say, because that was for essential workers that we may come in every day here and deal with the public, whether they couldn't take off, especially our firefighters and our sheriff. So maybe, I don't know what date that would be,
When was the tornado?
March
The 3rd.
3rd.
Yeah,
20.
But,
that's right.
That's along about the time COVID
Well,
started.
that was right in there with.
And the COVID was like next week, wasn't it?
But we-
2 weeks after.
2 weeks, there you
Yeah.
go.
Shut down.
but I would say, what I'm thinking is that we go to the end of when we thought the pandemic was, that we thought the scare was over, and go, if you were working at that time backwards, then you qualify, because that's what the money was for. It was for essential workers that we made them come to work. So when would you consider that we've kind of been out of pandemic stage and we hadn't had to worry about that? I mean, is that,
A year ago, first October.
June 1st is when you told the courthouse if you were working from home to come back into the building was gonna be open back to the employees,
so
not to
June
the
1st is
public.
when our,
In 20?
In 20.
So basically from March to June.
no, well,
No.
I mean, from, I say we take
So-
June and go backwards.
Backwards.
If you've been here,
Okay.
if you were working for us in June of 2020,
Yeah.
then,
You're
so
eligible.
anybody hired after June of 2020, I mean, you could even go to January of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been fickle all along.
Yeah.
I would be much more in favor of that myself. Like I say, the money's been
Allocated
us
for that.
to put it
Mhm.
into the con, to be used.
Yeah.
And,
Not necessarily the Delta variants, but I mean, if you said, if you were working here before January 1, 2021,
Yeah,
you
that covers
qualify.
it.
I just gotta know how to write it up.
Right,
You
can
gotta
you
know
do
how to
that?
calculate it.
Can you do that?
I can wordsmith it, that's the easy part. Calculating the money is the harder part.
we're
But-
gonna give anybody, the
So,
people that were
1/1/20?
here after January 1st, anything?
Yeah.
From January 1st to October,
The money's there to do it with.
From 1/1/20, the whole 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If the next step was 2,000, what would you?
I don't know, somebody's been here that's 10 months. They got $100 a month, be $1,000. It's a whole lot more than nothing.
That's good money.
I mean, and it wouldn't be like we were passing them over completely. I mean, it's a
You'd
hard
say-
thing to figure out, but
you could say 25 and 1,500. Do you hear after January 1?
you know I'm in favor of giving them all we can.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
hate to
that's,
sit here and say
I mean,
that,
that-
but it's the facts.
yeah, because we have dealt with the Delta variants at that time, so.
So just have those two,
Categories.
25 and 15?
I mean, I just threw it out there, I mean, I
That
just,
sounds like a winner to me. You're saying, prior to January 1st, 2021, 2,500,
Mm-hmm.
and from January 1st till now, 1,500.
So it's before and after.
Wait. No,
Try that again.
no.
Try again, first of this year,
Yeah.
back.
That's we.
Back.
Yeah, yeah.
Back.
If you were hired before January 1, you get 2,500.
Gotcha.
If you were hired after if you hired January 1 and forward, 1,500. Because before January 1, we consider that.
Yeah, I will say this, what
And
date
then-
do we want that to end on? I'm like Mr. Marlowe, I don't think we should hire somebody yesterday and,
Get the money.
and give them $1,500 tomorrow.
I think it would end on the Monday that we approve it, the county commission.
End on,
Right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, the
well,
whole
why don't we
purpose
say
is,
August 31st then?
are we
Because-
losing track of the fact the whole purpose for this is try to hold on to our
That's
employees?
it.
So, I don't particularly like the idea of somebody working 30 years getting the same figure as somebody that worked 6 months. But on the other hand, they all got the same expenses, and they all got the same wage.
And I think longevity takes care of that when we talk about people here. We're talking about just, we made you work during that time. I mean, that's what the bylaws of the ARP said, that we made you come into work during, we weren't able to shut down.
You're not rewarding them for longevity, you're rewarding them for working during
Coming to
that
work.
period of time.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what the paperwork says. Okay? Because you were essential workers. Because it all started out, for law enforcement and somebody in the back of an ambulance and all that, and the conversation, at least around the table, the county mayors were, okay, so you're just gonna give it to the ambulance guys that maybe got close to them, because you quit kind of really pulling over people, as a sheriff patrol, and then they said, and then the people over there said, well, now, wait a minute,
They're
I'm
selling
a
tags.
clerk, I'm a
Mhm.
clerk, and I gotta sell this stuff
Yeah.
to them, and you put this shield up here, but I mean, I'm touching the money, and so that's when they said, really, everybody that
Sure.
works for government, county government, would be essential worker. And that's when they also said something about the part-time. They said, well, if you're at the convenience center and you're working part-time, but you're there every day and you're dealing with it, then you're considered that too. So that's just the conversations that we've had. I mean, I hear you saying 2,500 flat and be done with it.
I don't think that seems fair to me.
If they worked during that time, if they exposed themselves to COVID,
So that gets back to January 1st, what we're talking about, Bob.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
yeah, but I mean, don't matter if you was here 30 years or not, we didn't have COVID for 30 years.
That's true.
We've had it
That's
for
true.
about 18 months.
That's
True.
right.
Hadn't the school system already done something?
Yes.
They
School
gave us
system gave
$1,000.
They gave
And they
$1,000.
gave it across the board.
Right.
Okay,
Well, then we might as well, if they gave it across the board, we might as well call it a day.
Yeah, I don't care, don't
Yeah,
get
I
me
mean, I know
wrong.
it, but I see if
but-
we give it to one across the board and don't give it the other one across the board, we're gonna run into some issues still with that.
If you give it across
So-
the board, Annette, you're gonna have some issues.
Yeah.
If you've had people working here
Yeah.
for years, and, you've got people that's worked less than 10 months and get the same thing.
Yeah, I know the older
And we're
people
even
feel
through the COVID
unappreciated
problem,
anyway.
The real COVID problem,
True.
it's still with us like the mayor said.
Yeah, but then you said we didn't have it 30 years ago either, so.
I think what keeps us clean, because we'll have to answer to everybody, if we say this money was for people that had to work during the COVID pandemic, that we would shut down, and we cut that time off at January 1. And then for the people that's worked after that, if we just, we know that the Delta variant was still there, you still have the opportunity, and we still have it today. I mean, COVID's still pretty rampant today. We feel like it's not as bad, so we're gonna give you 1,500 if that's what you wanna do. And then everybody gets something, and you're rewarding the people that had to work during that time. Again, that's just a
Let me
suggestion.
throw you another wrinkle.
Okay?
You're just full of them tonight, aren't you?
Well, I'm just trying to anticipate. I know what he goes through, cause I go through it on a smaller scale at Watertown. People have been here 2 years saying, you're gonna give me $1,500 for coming in and working during that time. And the guy that had 30 years had all this sick time built up, and he didn't come in. He got paid. And you're paying them for exposing themselves to COVID.
But
Well, they were paid for being off with COVID if they had it anyway through that time, Mike.
Yeah, but they earned that time.
No, I'm talking about,
They earned
the
that.
federal
They had the
government
right.
gave it back to us, didn't
And
it?
we gave them the 14 days, we paid them 14 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
So they were
Yeah,
covered.
We paid them 14 days. And, I mean, they got paid for being off for COVID, but I don't know of anybody that said, hey, I'm scared to come and work, I'm gonna use sick time. Now, that could have happened, but I felt like our people, the only thing that we really did, in my mind, out of the norm, when the executive order came down and we said they could work from home, although which that's in our handbook policy now, is that they said, hey, if you don't split your offices up and you got everybody in there, and somebody comes in Goodall's office, got COVID, then they all gotta go home for contact tracing, and you've gotta shut your office down. So we said half of you work today, the other half work tomorrow. Other than that, I don't know, I mean, my office came in every day, and I'm sure the road commission and sheriff and all them had to too. Yeah, we
So, is this where we are? If they was hired before January 1, they get 25. If they was hired after January 1, they get 15.
15 or 1,000?
15.
You know, I'm sitting there trying to be fair. 2,500, if you've been here that long and went through all that, and you're gonna get 1,500 for 10 months, roughly. I think 1,000 from the first of the year till now. How could anybody be dissatisfied with that?
So, okay, I'm gonna throw a wrinkle at you here, okay, as Mike says. We said COVID started right after the tornado, March 3rd of 2020. And we're giving March 3rd to January 1. So that's March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So you, for 9 months of putting up with that, they get that 2,500. And then January to October, which is 10 months. So, I mean, we're talking about the same amount of time. I'm not
when you
paying
look
them,
at it like that,
yeah, I'm not paying them for COVID before COVID ever happened.
Right, you can't.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you said, hey, look, let's do 2,500 and 1,250.
Okay, I can do 1250.
Let's do that. I'll put that in the form of a
I'll
motion.
second that.
All right, y'all,
Say
make
it
sure I
again.
got it here.
1250 and
We're gonna do
$2,500.
$2,500.
To the last day of 2020.
If you were hired before 12/31/20, you get,
On 12/31.
you
Yeah,
get
change it.
2,500.
That's
Okay.
still a lot.
After that, you get 1,250.
That's still a lot.
1250, not 15?
1250.
1250.
We split it in half.
After 1/1/21, you get 1,250.
Through the day that, 21st.
One-time bonus.
Good.
Through,
You say the county court meeting was on the 21st?
18th, I think.
18th of October.
Okay, 18th, so the 18th of October.
Okay, read that one more time.
Oh.
The numbers, just the numbers.
Well, I'll go in, let me make sure Tommy made the motion and Ed seconded. That for anybody who was hired before December 31, 2020, $2,500 one-time bonus. Anybody after January 1, 2021, $1,250 one-time bonus.
That's half.
Through, anybody who's eligible through the night of the county commission meeting.
So wait. If I got hired October the 1st, I still get 1250?
You do?
Wow.
We have to.
Better go to work.
It's awful good, but
I need a
it's hard to
job.
draw a line.
It is.
Okay,
I don't know
everyone's,
how to do it.
everyone's heard the motion. Any other questions?
Wait a minute. On that last part, I'd say August 31st. I don't know why. Is that a problem? Instead of October, whatever. Because if I just got hired within the last 30 days and know I'm gonna walk in there and get 1250, we're gonna be hiring some people.
It happens.
Well, I mean, they won't be expecting
you ain't
this.
gonna
This
be
is a
hired.
one-time
I mean,
deal.
I mean, you're cutting it off on the night the county commission approves it, so a week from Monday night.
Why don't you cut it off tonight?
11 days.
Cut it off tonight.
So
There you
nobody
have
runs
it.
in tomorrow and says, I want a job.
I'm good with that.
They run to Cindy and say, I want a job at
And
the
that's the reason
convenience
why I
center
said,
and
well,
get their money and
September
then
the
they're out.
30th.
That
I mean,
makes a lot of
September the
sense.
Today,
30th.
October 7th.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I totally
That's why he's
agree.
the boss.
Cause it'll get
I
out.
know.
Hell, I've been
Well,
throwing
you know.
stuff out there and y'all been snarling at me.
You got
I gotta win one.
You
That works.
got
That
to
works.
stick
That
her
works.
head in the traffic.
That
Can't
works.
spoon.
I agree. That's
think
good.
But I'd like
Good
to make
idea.
one other statement about that motion. We don't want this to be tied to any type of pay raise that's been discussed or what's gonna happen in the coming year as far as pay
No.
raise.
It is not.
It's two separate things.
Yeah.
completely.
One-time bonus is the
One
way I
time,
word it.
right.
And really, what we had talked about back when we did our budget this time, if you remember, we said, hey, we didn't have the growth money for that, but this could be our
Bridge.
increase for this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about that. I don't know if we had the conversation.
Yeah.
here or
Yeah,
not.
that's what I'm saying. I just let it be two separate issues.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Wendell done got
5 hours
tired.
on that.
You've heard
Got in there
$5.
on that one.
You have heard $5 on that.
I have, it's been written down that way.
Motion to, you through? Are we done?
Motion to.
To adjourn?
Okay.